The government wants to cut truckers' pay. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Trucking with Old Snapper, and I am Old Snapper. I hope all of you out there are doing great, staying safe, staying out of trouble, being good to one another. Remember, we are all family out here, even if we are a little bit dysfunctional. Yes, you heard that right. The government is wanting to cut truckers' pay. Now you might ask, what? How? I ain't seen anything about that. They're doing it in an indirect way. You can Google this. I'll be putting some screenshots up from some different things I found when I Googled it. They're wanting to lower the speed limit for trucks. They're wanting trucks to have speed limiters on them. They're saying that trucks that have collision mitigation systems on them would be able to have a higher speed limit than trucks that do not. They've had suggestions as low as 60 miles per hour. Essentially, what this is cutting drivers' pay. By slowing your truck down, if you're getting paid by the mile, you're going to make less per day because you're not going to be able to drive as far. That's cutting your pay. If you're getting paid by the load, you're not, at the end of the year, you're not going to get as many loads in throughout the year because you're in a slower truck. It may not make that much of a difference on a day-to-day basis, but if you look at it over a yearly basis, it's going to make quite a bit of difference. So yes, what the government is doing essentially by slowing trucks down and making us run slower is they're cutting our pay. Not only are they cutting our pay, but they are creating a very unsafe environment. Can you imagine truckers all moving at the same speed down the highway? How are you ever going to get on the highway? You would never be able to safely merge onto the highway. I think it would create a major safety problem. I think there'd be a lot more accidents than what we have now by putting all truckers at the same speed. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me to do that. Most trucks already don't go the speed limit, especially if you work for a mega carrier. I don't know any mega carriers out here that are governed at the speed limit. So we're already going slower than traffic. Why would you want to slow us down even more? Not only that, but another problem it's going to cause is now you're going to have trucks, let's say one's just a little bit lighter than the other one. Going up a hill, they're going to spend the next 20 miles trying to pass each other because one has a little bit more pull on the hill than the other one. Can you imagine the bull crap that's going to ensue from having trucks all at the same speed? The only thing in this that makes sense is whoever it is that sat down and come up with this has never driven a truck before. Whoever sat down and come up with this probably doesn't even drive their own vehicle. They probably have a driver. They probably ride in the back and get drove everywhere they go. Because anybody that drives and got any sense at all would know this is just stupid. It's literally stupid. It's one of the stupidest laws I've ever seen other than a 30-minute break. 30-minute break is the only thing I can see that rivals it in ignorance. Because all a 30-minute break did was make a driver's day 30 minutes longer. It plugged up fuel islands too. So, I mean, is it just me or is our government getting dumber and dumber and dumber? It's like they have to justify their job, so they sit up there and just make up some crap. Oh, okay, we're going to do this. Because of these accidents, we're going to do this, and this will stop these accidents from happening. We really need to start drug testing them. They need drug tests. Everybody up there needs drug tests. Can I get a second on that? We need to drug test all of our government. So let me get this straight. You want to slow trucks down. You want to make an unsafe environment. You want to cut drivers' pay basically by slowing trucks down. And then at the same time, you're going to lie and tell the public that there's a driver shortage and you don't know why there's a driver shortage. And then at the same time, do something that would create more of a driver shortage that doesn't exist, right? Because there's going to be some people that say the hell with that and they're just going to go on home. They're going to get jobs at the house and say, screw it. We are already over-regulated. I mean, think about it. We're regulated in every which direction. I got an electronic log. I have a computer that tells exactly where I'm at 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, anytime I'm in that truck. It's logging me by the second every move that I make. Every time I enter or leave a state, I have to drive through, if it's open, I have to drive through an inspection station and get weighed and make sure that my truck is safe and legal for the road. How come cars don't do that? Why are cars not checked to make sure they're safe and legal for the road? Why don't cars have to enter them stations? Why is it just commercial trucks? I know it would cause horrific backups and all that kind of crap, but it would get some of these fools off the road that are driving around with no insurance. They'd get some of that stuff done. Some of these guys that are driving around with no driver's license. I mean, how common is it now to see a car going down the road don't even have plates on it? No plates, no paper plate. I see it every day. It's almost like a free-for-all out here. Just go buy a car, don't even worry about registering it. You don't need no insurance or nothing, just drive. That's what it's become in a lot of places. And that's causing the insurance rates for those of us who do have insurance to go up through the roof because they're having to cover accidents in a lot of cases where the other person doesn't have any insurance. So the insurance company calculates that loss into their rate, and they make higher rates. Like myself, I pay for insurance on my personal vehicle, but I pay a higher rate because I got to worry about people out there that don't have insurance. Why don't we start running them through inspection stations and checking for that kind of stuff and getting that kind of crap off the road? Not only would it take a lot of those that are running around with no insurance off the road, and a lot of those that are driving around in cars that are unsafe off the road, but it would create less traffic, therefore making a safer road environment. Right or wrong? We're out there on the road, we're making a living. We're making a living for ourselves and for our families at home, sacrificing our time away from home. This is one of the few jobs where you can be making a living, and if you do something wrong, it's going to cost you money. If you work in a factory and you do something wrong, you might get wrote up. If you work as a waiter or waitress and you do something wrong, you might get wrote up, maybe not. Most of the time not. You're just going to correct whatever it is you did wrong. A couple of years ago, I got a ticket in Oklahoma for being overweight. And the lady spelled my name wrong when she was writing out the citation. And of course, in Oklahoma, if you ever get a ticket, they want their money right then. Whatever your ticket is, you have to pay it right there on the spot. And they take credit cards, and they have an ATM machine. It's revenue for the state. It's what it is. But when the DOT officer spelled my name wrong, I said, "Ma'am, you made a mistake." And she said, "Okay," and she corrected it. I said, "But hold on, that'll be $300 because that's how much my fine was." And she looked at me sideways like, "What?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, that'll be $300. She said, "I don't understand." I said, "You're at work, right? This is your place of employment." "Yes." "You made a mistake." "Yes." "You're getting a fine, $300. I'm at work. That truck out there is my place of employment. I came through this scale overweight. I made a mistake. It cost me $300 out of my paycheck. I'm fixing to have to go to this ATM, pull some money out to pay you, or I can't leave. I made a mistake at work. You just made a mistake. You don't have to pay a fine." That's just the difference in trucking. Trucking can cost you money. You run around out here making too many mistakes, it'll cost you a lot of money, right? And it's one of the few jobs that are like that. There's not a lot of jobs out there where you can go to work and get a ticket for making a mistake. But trucking is that way. If you make a mistake in our line of work, it can get you a ticket. If you make a mistake in our line of work, it can cost you your freedom. And what I mean by that is, if you make a mistake in our line of work that ends up hurting somebody else, there's a very strong possibility that you're going to go to jail for your neglect. There's not a lot of jobs out there that are like that. It is a little bit stressful, and it's something that we deal with as drivers, and it's something that keeps us on our toes to try to be the best drivers that we can be. But we have all of that stress. We have everything working against us all the time. Now you want to slow our trucks down? Now you want to make it a regulation, causing it to take us longer to get to a destination? Overall, taking money out of our pockets on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, and on a yearly basis? Fellow drivers, we are over-regulated now as it is. We need to start speaking up. This is getting to be BS. It's like we're regulated in every direction. If they continue regulating us, they're going to start charging us for how often we piss, how much air we breathe in each state. I mean, think about it. It just keeps going and going and going. Every time they come out with another regulation on us, you think, well, they couldn't. That's got to be the last one. They can't come out with another one. Heck, I said that 20 regulations ago, 10 years ago. It just keeps snowballing, coming down tougher and tougher and tougher. It's getting to be too much. We need to start using our voices. We need to start standing up for ourselves. We need to start calling this BS out. These bureaucrats up there in Washington, D.C. who've never driven a truck, probably don't even have a family member that drives a truck, are trying to make regulations on us that's making our lives harder out here on the road. And it's creating, in some cases, unsafe environment for them and their families when they're out on the road. And they're too stupid to know it, or let me rephrase that, they're too ignorant to know it because they've never done this job. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. Share this video. We really need to make our voices heard out here. Y'all take care, stay safe. Let's keep trucking.